the day be well and the night be well.
May the midday hour bring happiness too, in every minute and every second. May the day and night be well. By the blessing of the triple gem, may all things be protected and safe. May all beings born in each of the four ways live in the land of purity. May all in the three realms be born upon lotus thrones. May countless wandering souls realize the three virtuous positions of the Bodhisattva path. May all living beings with grace and ease fulfill the Bodhisattva stages. The countenance of the world honor one, like the full moon, or like the orb of the sun, shines with the light of clarity. The halo of wisdom spreads in every direction, enveloping all with love and compassion, joy and equanimity. Namo Shakyamuni Buddhaya. Namo Shakyamuni Buddhaya. Namo
Caro Tai, cara comunità, grazie di nuovo per esservi uniti a noi per questa sessione e volevamo, prima di ascoltare l'insegnamento di Dharma di questa sera, volevamo invitarvi a sederci insieme per qualche minuto, così per arrivare veramente in questo momento con tutti noi stessi. E vorrei invitarvi, iniziando, a cercare una posizione comoda, sia che se siete seduti su un cuscino o su una sedia va benissimo. Ecco, la cosa importante che vorrei invitarvi a controllare è che la schiena sia diritta. Ecco, possiamo prenderci qualche momento per controllare la postura, vedere un po' le spalle se sono comode. Possiamo lasciarle cadere giù, rilassarle e possiamo gentilmente iniziare a ritornare all'inspirazione e all'espirazione. Semplicemente quando inspiro riconosco che questa è una ispirazione e quando espiro riconosco che questa è una espirazione. Se mi sento comoda, se mi sento comodo, posso anche chiudere gli occhi, così per riuscire a concentrarmi meglio sulla respirazione. Adesso ascolteremo 3 suoni di campana per iniziare formalmente questo breve periodo di meditazione insieme. E durante questa meditazione di tanto in tanto offrirò delle frasi seguite da delle parole chiave, da delle parole, così per aiutarci per essere guidati durante questa meditazione che stiamo per condividere tutti insieme. Inspirando, seguo l'inspirazione dall'inizio alla fine. Espirando, seguo l'espirazione dall'inizio alla fine. Seguo l'inspirazione e seguo l'espirazione. Inspirando, sono consapevole di tutto il mio corpo. Espirando, rilasso il corpo. Consapevole di tutto il corpo, rilasso il corpo. Inspirando sono consapevole della rabbia. Espirando sorrido alla rabbia in me. Consapevole della rabbia, sorrido. Inspirando sono consapevole della paura. Espirando sorrido alla paura in me. Consapevole della paura, sorrido. Inspirando sono consapevole del silenzio e della pace in me e intorno a me. Espirando sorrido al silenzio e alla pace in me e intorno a me. Consapevole del silenzio e della pace in me e intorno a me, sorrido. Caro Tai, care amiche, cari amici, ecco, possiamo riaprire gli occhi, prenderci un momento per tornare in contatto con il corpo, se abbiamo bisogno di fare un po' di stretching, ecco, ci possiamo prendere un momento per, mentre nel frattempo ci organizziamo un attimo che sta per arrivare anche l'insegnante di Dharma che condividerà questa sera e possiamo ascoltare un suono di campana. Quando ascolteremo il suono di campana ci possiamo alzare e quando l'insegnante arriverà ci possiamo inchinare all'insegnante di Dharma che parlerà in inglese. Quindi per chi non potrà seguire in lingua originale in inglese può cliccare nell'icona in basso dello schermo, c'è un'icona con interpretazione. Se cliccate lì ci sarà la scelta in italiano, che Miriam molto gentilmente questa sera ci aiuterà e sosterrà con la traduzione. Grazie mille Miriam. E ecco, per chi non può seguire in inglese, quindi c'è questa in italiano. Quindi ecco, penso che ci siamo. Possiamo ascoltare il suono di campana.
Dear respected Thai, dear Sangha, today is the 11th of March, the year 2022. We are in the Centro Avalokita. We are in the teaching tour in Italy right now with brothers and sisters from Plum Village. And this is our first trip in Italy in the middle of COVID pandemic. And it's a great joy that we are able to get out from our monastery and travel again and to see people and to get in touch, in contact in person. It's a great joy to be able to do so. And in this trip, we have a lot of events. And the most joyful event is to be able to walk peacefully with the community. We will have about 3 walking meditation. So we hope that we are able to see some of you in Pisa, in Firenze city, and we will walk together as a community and to touch peace in every step. So Centro Avalokita. Avalokita is a name given to a bodhisattva. The meaning of this name is great compassion. And this name is given to someone who is able to be present and to be there for the suffering. So in our mind, we have that. In our stall consciousness, we have that. We have that quality of great compassion in each of us. And each of us have that capacity also to be brave enough, to have enough love to embrace suffering, to embrace painful feeling, to embrace uncomfortable feeling. and that is in our store consciousness. And my name is Brother Bao Tang. When we translate into Italia, is treasure, brother treasure. Is something precious in the store. And in the store of consciousness of each of you, you have also treasure. You have also jewel. And this jewel, every one of us can touch it and make it alive in our daily life. And we can experience that treasure in our daily life. But we need to know how to do it. And I believe many of you know how to do it, because many of you has been practicing in the community, and many of you has been practicing very long time. And that is why tonight we all come together to practice in order to be able to touch that treasure, and we can enjoy it together as a community. The first seed, the first treasure that we can touch when we come together in this meeting is already peace, is already available in the present moment. And the joy is also present in this very moment to see so many people. We have about 272 screen tonight. Wonderful. In the evening on Friday. Wonderful. Yeah. I believe that you can see so many people in your screen. And in front of me, there are brothers and sisters. There are also Stefano and Leticia and Fabio, and also all of you in front of me in the screen. So this is what we call being present for each other. When we are there, the Sangha is also there, the community is also there, and then we can nourish each other. And this is the miracle of mindfulness. Our teacher Thai always share with us that we have a tendency. Often our body is here and our mind is somewhere else. Our teacher often mentioned this for us to remind us. And until today, when I look at myself, that tendency is very alive, it's still there. Always forget. Often the body is here and the mind is somewhere else. And this we can find in many aspects of our life. For example, we are breathing in every moment, but probably we don't really aware every moment that we are breathing. We walk every day, but it is not necessary that we are aware every step in the walking. And when we eat, it's also the same. It's not always we are able to be aware of our food, be aware of our the way we eat, what we eat, and the people surrounding us. Maybe we are not really there. So this is a tendency, and this is also at the same time an invitation for all of us to check from tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday, this weekend. We make this weekend as our precious weekend, as the weekend where we come back to ourselves and to check how is our breathing, how is our walking, and how is our eating. This is very interesting. Yeah. And our job is to be present, to practice being present. When we can get in touch with our in-breath, we smile, because that is the success of our practice. That is the experience that we can be present for our in-breath. And when we breathe out, we can also get in touch with our out-breath, and we also smile to our out-breath because we are there, we are present in this moment. And we can smile to that breathing. And for the walking, it's also the same. When we move at home, we make a little bit effort to move in a way that you feel graceful, you feel relaxed. You are there for your body because your body has worked very hard every day from Monday to Friday. Some of you maybe Saturday you also have to clean your house, and Sunday you still have appointment to do something. So it is very helpful when you are able to just move relaxingly during the day. Let us enjoy our breathing together. Just to check, can I get in touch with my in-breath and can I get in touch with my out-breath? Dear Sangha, when we breathe in, we know that we are breathing in. And when we breathe out, we know that we are breathing out. That is a sign of life. And that is enough for us to celebrate our happiness. Because when we know there is life, then we know there is hope. And we know there is change. Because when there is no life, then there is no change. Everything that is alive is changing. The seeds that we plant, if it is alive, then it change into sprout, and from the sprout change into a plant, and then continue until it becomes seed again. That is a sign of being alive. And when we see life in that way, we have a lot of hope and we have a lot of confidence. And this is something that we can practice. And every time we have in-breath and out-breath, we are experiencing transformation also. And what kind of transformation we can experience with just in-breath and out-breath, being in touch with our in-breath and out-breath. What kind of transformation we can experience. For me, it is very clear when I take my in-breath and out-breath mindfully, I transform the seeds of forgetfulness. That is the tendency that I have just explained. That is our forgetfulness. That is our tendency of not being there for our body and for our mind. So every time you can be mindful of your breath, that is a celebration also of transformation of forgetfulness. And this is a great joy to be able to transform our forgetfulness. The other practice that can help us to transform our forgetfulness is walking meditation. And this is one of my favorite practice. Sometimes it's very hard to do walking meditation in a gentle step because we have another tendency in our body. If you read a book called The body keep the score. I don't know how it translated into Italian. That book told us that the body remember, and each of us in our body we remember something, and that thing is being hurry, one of them. So when we walk, we can be impatient in walking. So the body have its own memory and its own habit. And when we practice mindful walking, it also transforms our body. When our body transforms, our mind also transforms. Then the forgetfulness also transforms. So when we practice walking meditation, we just allow ourselves to walk, and we put our mind in the step forward, turning to the left, turning to the right. When we turn right, we know we are turning right. When we turn left, we know we are turning left. This is very interesting. The Buddha teach this in 2,600 years ago in the Sutra of Satipatthana. If you read the sutra, some of you, the Buddha teach in that way. Just to know that you turn left and you turn right, turn to the right, you are mindful, you are there, you are present. Yeah. And this is we can practice. And sometimes when we slow down our body, our mind become agitated. We will have a lot of thinking. And sometimes it's very hard to concentrate in the walking meditation. And sometimes we feel like we are failed in practicing walking meditation because we cannot have enough concentration in our mind. But the Gatha is very helpful. It can help us to maintain our concentration. Yeah. And this Gatha is very beautiful, written by our teacher. And when we were novice, and until now, even when we walk, we practice like that. When we have a lot of thinking, first of all, we recognize our thought and we tell ourselves, my mind is going to 1,000 directions. So this is the first thing we tell ourselves. But we continue to walk. We just continue to walk peacefully. Yeah. And if our concentration is not enough, then we use whatever that's surrounding us. And if we are outside, we can enjoy the gentle breeze touching our face. And when we are able to experience that, then we know we are present. We are in the present moment. Even we have a lot of thinking at that time. And the other way is to walk in a way that we kiss the earth. We walk gently, as if every step we walk, we make a flower blooms. That is quite difficult, walking. To walk in a way that the flower blooms. It means it's so gentle, it's very peaceful, that the flower blooms under our feet when we walk. We can walk in that spirit. When we walk like that, we feel the nourishment from the earth, from our body, and from our mind. And tonight I'm trying to sing in Italian for you for this for this song. I will invite Brother dell'11 to come to sing in Italian. I will challenge myself. Don't laugh at me if I sing it wrong. But I love the pronunciation in Italian. So this is the Gatha for walking meditation, to remind us that we may have a lot of thinking when we walk, but keep walking mindfully. And if possible, feel the gentle breeze to help you to be present. And if possible, walk in a way that a flower blooms every step, so that you can really be present and walk gently and mindfully. La mente può andare in mille direzioni, ma in questo sentiero cammino in pace. Con ogni passo un brezza leggera soffia, con ogni passo un fiore sboccia. La mente può andare in mille direzioni, ma in questo sentiero cammino in pace. Con ogni passo una brezza leggera soffia, con ogni passo un fiore sboccia. Passo un fiore sboccia. Is it correct? Thank you, Verodova. Very beautiful guitar. So that is the gatha that we can practice. Let us breathe together with one sound of the bell. So thinking is not always wrong, because we have a right thinking in the practice. That is why it is very important to not attended. And we don't leave our mind alone, traveling everywhere as it want to be. So we can be aware of our mind. It's the same with our body. We should not allow our body being left unattended, because we often do this also. We allow our body do things by itself. This is what we call automatic pilot. Yeah. We allow our body function by itself, and we allow our mind function by itself without being attended. For example, when we eat, often we don't know when we swallow the food, because our muscle memory, our teeth memory, our tongue memory, so that it can process by itself and the food will swallow by itself. And we just trust that memory. And then our hand can look at the cell phone, can watch television, our ear can listen to the music, and etc. So we can put our mind somewhere else and we allow our body to function. But not only that, we also allow our mind, we put our mind without attention. So while we are eating, we allow our body to eat by itself. And at the same time, we allow our mind with our eyes watching television. And we allow our mind to function by itself. So we watch, we hear, and we feel afraid, we feel anxiety, we feel angry by itself without attended. And then once we come back to our breath, we come back to the present moment, everything becomes very messy. And we don't like that. And when we come back, there are many things is not in order. Our feeling is not good. Our body is not good. Then our mind run away again. And then we start to come back to this a cycle where we go further and further and further from ourselves. At the same time, we are not able to feel, we become afraid of our own feeling. We become, we have to face our body being sick or being painful, and etc. And only when we get sick, we start to realize that we are not take care ourselves well enough before. Right now, maybe many of us does not have headache. Do we know that? And when we know that, we should smile to our head because we don't have pain right now. So we don't need to wait until we have headache. Then we start to realize that I have a head that is painful. And I start to think, how can I have no painful head? Then I have to start to find medicine and etc. And I become busy with my head. And I try to massage here and there. So right now we don't have headache. We should be able to enjoy the non-headache moment, so that our head is not left unattended. Yeah. The body is also the same. Where we put our mind at our back, maybe we feel some tension. Maybe we can breathe in and out just to relax that back before our back become painful. The same with our arms, with our feet. We can be there for them and relax the whole body. And that is the practice of mindfulness of the body. And we can do that in a daily basis. And every time we do that, we transform our forgetfulness. We don't allow our body anymore to be alone. We don't allow anymore our mind to be alone. And this is what we call connection. And this is what we call healing. Connection is a very expensive thing right now, because we are separated everywhere, separated from our idea. So when we are able to connect with ourselves, that is a happy moment. And that moment we can share with other people also. So practicing be there for our body and for our mind is so important. And we all can do that. It's not too difficult. But we need to make a little bit effort, but not too hard. And when we forget, we just smile to our forgetfulness, and we come back to our in-breath and out-breath. Be there for our body. We don't punish ourselves, yeah, because we forget. Because we know already we have this tendency, so it is not something new. So when we know that we forget, we forgive ourselves, and we just need to be present right here and right now. When we are there in the present moment, we have a chance to water the good seeds in our consciousness, to take the treasure in our mind, one by one up and experience it in the present moment. The most obvious when we come together as a community like this is peace. When we come together, breathe together, we enjoy peace directly. And the treasure of peace in our consciousness will arise and we enjoy it in the present moment together. And we feel peaceful. It does not mean we have no problem. We still have problem. Yeah. But the peace is there at the same time. We have hope at the same time. And this is, we call watering the good seeds. And we have to find what else good seeds that we can water. The joy of no headache, we can water. The peaceful walk, we can water the seeds of peace, the seeds of joy and happiness. And this is also something that we can do in the daily basis, to be there and to cultivate joy and happiness. And this is very important. We practice like this in order to be able to invite another seeds, which we call compassion. Because when we water, we want to call the compassion up. It's a little bit challenging because it has to get in touch with suffering. But we have also a tendency at the same time in our mind to run away from suffering. We also have a tendency that we don't like unpleasant feeling and we don't like suffering. That is also our tendency. And that is why when we want to invite compassion, it's a little bit challenging. But it is possible to do that. So first of all, the condition for compassion to arise is the presence of unpleasant feeling. The suffering is there also at the same time. And sometimes this is very hard to practice because suffering is easy to find here and there. Yeah. And sometimes we are overwhelmed by that. And at the moment, in the present moment, with the COVID and with the conflict that is happening in the world, we can meet suffering in the daily basis. And when we don't have enough peace, joy, and happiness, it's very hard for the compassion to arise. If we don't have frustration, will arise. Fear will arise. And anxiety will arise. So this is something that we can pay attention. Yeah, pay attention. For myself, when I hear the conflict that is happening in the world right now, at the beginning, I cannot really feel anything because I was quite surprised to listen to that news. I told myself that how can this possible? Right now, we have a very advanced communication system. Why we are not able to communicate? Why we need to use a weapon to talk, to communicate? I have a stomachache for a few days when I listen to that. And I have to watch my thinking all the time because at that time, we have a tendency to run away from suffering. We might close our eyes. I don't want to see that because this is too much for me. or we have a tendency to think, what can I do to stop that situation? But when I think, how can I stop that situation? It becomes more overwhelming because I don't know what to do. Until I allow myself to practice a little bit more during the day, walk more mindfully, recognizing that this something is happening and not to be hurried to change the situation. By that practice of coming back to myself, I realized that actually I'm suffering right now, and I need to be there for myself first, take care of myself first. Just to recognize that I suffer, that is already enough for compassion to arise, because I know that I can bring my suffering with me, walk mindfully with my suffering, and breathe mindfully with my suffering. And with the help of the community, I'm able to know that many people are practicing right now, relaxing their body and breathing, and that energy will embrace the difficulty. And that is called acceptance. I accept that our world in this stage, and I know that I can do something. Everyone can do something. So acceptance and the practice of surrender is not giving up. I don't give up. I don't give up on humanity. I don't give up to the world. But I accept that this is happening, and I surrender to the collective consciousness. For me, surrender is like making caramel. I know you must know how to make caramel. You need to surrender. The sugar need to surrender to the water, and you turn the water, right? And you cannot do much. You have to turn until the sugar diluted in the water. So in that action, why you continue to turn is because you have confidence that the sugar will melt. So when we practice peace and we generate peace and we contribute peace in the present moment, it's like turning the sugar in the water. And we know that our peace has effect on what is happening in the world. And that peace can give us a right view that we can't be happy if there are other people suffering. But we still can cultivate joy. We still can cultivate peace in oneself. And that energy will affect the whole consciousness. We are so grateful to the Buddha that has told us that we have 3 actions. And each action has power, has effect. Every time we perform an action, it will give us effect. And that is the teachings. And for me to discover this teaching is very wonderful, that I can do something that is powerful. And that action is called right action. And it's not only that we can do something, but the Buddha also told us that we can do it in 3 ways. So that is another good news for us, that we can do action in 3 ways. The first thing, so when we face difficulty in the world, the first thing we see, physically, can I do something to support the situation? Can I do something? Can I give my clothes? Can I give a blanket? Can I give something? So first of all, we see can my physical bodily action can help? I believe some of you may have access to help directly. Some of the people fly to Ukraine to be a volunteer, or your Romania to be volunteer. But many of us also have no access to that. When we don't have access, probably we stay at home and feel frustrated. So check yourself when we face difficulty in the society. Can I act physically, bodily? Do I have a direct access to that? If I don't have, calm myself down, breathe, and check the second action. Can my speech help? So can I direct my speech in order not to make other people more angry, not to make other people more frustrated? Can I find words that can motivate people, have confidence for people, can generate peace and calm for other people? Is it possible to use my speech? Yeah. So when everybody use their speech to blame someone in this situation, probably we use our speech in another way. Find what access do you have through your speech. Do it directly. If your speech through verbal speech, do it directly. If you have to write it down, do it directly. But somehow this, and when we don't know who to talk to and who to write to, we may feel frustrated also. So we can check the third action, which is from the mind. Can I do something from my mind? So this is my practice when I contemplate on the situation in the world. In the COVID also situation, we have a lot of suffering from what we had in the past. And when I think about that, I have to check what is in my mind. If in my mind still have someone to blame, I have to take care of that. I don't blame myself, so I have to take care of that. It's not that I'm wrong if I blame someone, but I recognize it and take care of it so that it does not grow, become hatred. Because in the situation on conflict, we don't want to contribute hatred. We don't want to contribute fear. We don't want to contribute anxiety, but we want to contribute peace. And the first thing I have to do is to not have enemy in my mind. I should not hate human. Our teacher also shared with us that human is not our enemy. Our real enemy is our forgetfulness, our aversion, and our craving. But for myself, even that three things is not our enemy, but they are something in me that I need to take care of. Yeah. And I know that I can embrace three of them if I have enough mindfulness, concentration, and insight, joy, happiness. I have brotherhood, sisterhood, community. If I have that, I know that I can take care of that three things. Maybe let us breathe again together with one sound of the bell. one of the most powerful practice to take care of frustration is meditation on love, metta meditation, love meditation. And this is a practice that we can do also. And tomorrow evening we have another session. I hope that you still can come and join us tomorrow evening. And our sister will offer us this practice, the metta meditation, tomorrow evening. And tomorrow morning also we have a guided meditation. Yeah. So that is something that we can practice to take care of our mind. Yeah. When we take care of our mind, our speech become transformed, and our physical body action also transform. And we can contribute. And each piece that we generate, we can give to ourselves, we can give to the people around, and we can give to everyone who need the nectar of compassion and the nectar of love. Everyone can receive that. So let's say we want to change color. We talk about color now. Let's say I have a glass of water and accidentally I put black color in the water, and then the water become black. So our tendency is to try to take this black color out of the water. And the more we try, the more difficult it becomes. So somehow actually we can move on. If we don't really like black, we put white. So it is not black anymore, it becomes gray. And when light, you can add any color. When you put red, it also become red, and etc. We can move on. So we don't need to attach into the past. So when we practice, we also move on from one difficulty to the other difficulty. We just need to move on. And when one problem solved, we move on. So we don't need to attach to what is in the past. Yeah. So this is the three actions we can do. We can contribute. Everyone can contribute. And for sure, everyone can contribute peace. Everyone can contribute understanding. We can start from that point, and after that we may see more things. So when we practice mindfulness, we have concentration, we also have insight. And this insight is the way of thinking and the way of looking. We can transform that. We can touch the nature of interbeing, the interconnectedness between us and other people. And when we can touch that, we can reconcile. And the first person that we need to reconcile is ourselves. We forgive ourselves when we forget to breathe. We forgive ourselves when we forget to relax our body. We forgive ourselves when we forget our mindful step, and we can do it directly. So that is the practice of forgiveness towards oneself. And we can look deeply into our own mind, our own body, our own suffering, and touch happiness at the same time. Everything is there. So in this weekend, we are we will have a ceremony to commemorate our teacher Thai, and the spirit of Thai is always being together. Yeah. And so in the beginning of the session, when I call you, dear Thai, dear community, this is the way I practice right now to change Thai into a community. When I see you, I call you Thai. And so Thai is not one person anymore. Thai can be anything that is with him. When I come to the Centro Avalokita, I see so many calligraphy of Thai, and I see him everywhere in different sentences. And every sentences remind us to practice. Yeah. And that practice itself is Thai. He always told us that when you are in touch with your mindful breath and your mindful step, you are in touch with me. And that is a very deep practice. Intellectually, very easy to understand. But in the experiential level, we need some practice to touch that. And when we touch that, we can touch our ancestors, not only our teacher Thai, but many ancestor teachers. Not only the Buddhist ancestor teachers, but all spiritual teachers, we can touch that. So that is our practice, that we invite all of you to move on, move forward, and be courageous, have compassion in your heart. And tomorrow we will explore more what is compassion, what is courage. It's very hard to define what is that, but I think just sit here and explore together. I'm also listening to myself right now, talking to you. I also listen to my own Dharma talk and allow all this treasure in the store consciousness to be touched and arise, whatever that is, hope, joy, confidence, motivation to practice. I allow it to arise. To end the session, I would like to sing again for you. So this is a action, the song about 3 action. We have 3 action. We have our smile through our body, we have our speech, and we have our mind. And our body, speech, and mind can move a mountain. Even the mountain is so solid, we can move it with our action. And that action will not die. Like the vapor of the ocean, it always continues. And that vapor was never born and will never die. It will continue. Like our action will continue very, very far throughout space and time. And each of them has our signature. So when we perform an action, we want to perform with mindfulness, concentration, and insight. We want to have a mind that is attended and the body that is attended, so that our action has the right action. Yeah. So this is the three action I would like to sing in Italiano. I'm practicing the whole day today, so see if I can sing it this evening. Maybe we listen to one song of the bell first before I sing. I feel nervous now. So the title is Tre Azioni. Il mio sorriso può muovere le montagne, colorare la gioia fino al cielo, come il vapore dell'oceano, continua in ogni momento. La mia parola può muovere le montagne, portando pace in ogni suono. Come il vapore dell'oceano, continua in ogni momento. La mia mente può muovere le montagne, va oltre lo spazio e il tempo, come il vapore dell'oceano. Non è mai nato e non morirà mai. Continua tutto il tempo. So now it's almost 9 o'clock. Let us listen to the three sound of the bell, and to end this session, maybe I would love to hear some of you, some of your voices. It's always nice to hear some of you. Maybe one or two people can share how you feel tonight and how are you to see the Sangha like this in the evening. Yeah, let us listen to the three sound of the bell. So if you want to share something, please put your hands up and we will allow you to unmute and then we can listen to you a little bit. Yes, we have Antonella.
Volevo ringraziare
And we
e
can
dire
mute
che
our mic so that we have translation. Yeah.
il tempo è passato senza che me ne accorgessi, è volato, pur essendo così intenso la comunicazione con voi, con tutti voi, è stato molto dolce, è stato molto bello, è stato... mi dispiace che sia finito. Basta, non ho niente da dire.
Yeah, we have Pia. Wait a minute. Espera, espera.
Pia, please, per favore accendi il microfono, Pia.
Yeah.
Volevo ringraziare tutti voi per essere qui e per portare questo messaggio di pace, di cui sentiamo tanto il bisogno. E, è un tempo difficile e ieri io faccio parte del Sangha di Bari e ieri qui a Bari c'è stata una manifestazione per la pace e noi abbiamo preparato come Sangha, abbiamo partecipato a questa manifestazione portando questo cartello, Being Peace, essere pace, perché è questo il messaggio che Tai ci dà e ci ha dato e continua a darci. E quindi è bello condividere con tutti voi questo messaggio. Ne abbiamo bisogno. Stasera ho sentito appunto la pace scendere nel mio cuore e vi ringrazio davvero tutti. Grazie.
We have three hands, Sylvia, Laura, and David. So after these three sharing, we will end our session. Yeah. Please, Sylvia.
Good evening, Brother Baotang. Buonasera, Fratello Baotang. Thank you so much for sharing and bringing some words of peace for our broken hearts for this war. E grazie per aver portato parole di pace nei nostri cuori che sono spaccati da questa guerra. And there is always this question, what can we do? And now you told us what to do with our frustration. C'è sempre questa domanda, che cosa posso fare io? E adesso noi sappiamo, perché lui ce l'ha detto, cosa fare per la nostra frustrazione. E sono cose semplici. And actually there are simple things that we all know how to do. And thank you very much for bringing also the Centro Avalokita alive again. And we can see our beloved meditation hall and so many people there. My heart is singing. E grazie anche per aver portato l'immagine del centro Avalokita così vivo, con le persone che praticano lì. Ecco, i cuori cantano quando vedo questo. Thank you so much. Grazie a tutti.
Yeah. Laura. Laura. Yeah. After Laura, David, and then we end our session. Yeah.
Le parole che mi vengono dal cuore sono grazie, grazie, grazie per ricordarmi ogni giorno la connessione col mio respiro, per ricordarmi il sorriso insieme al respiro e l'interconnessione di noi, di tutti insieme, che non siamo uno, e per questa bellissima opportunità sono davvero grata per essere stata in questo tempo che mi è sembrato volare. Sono rimasta veramente colpita e commossa da questo incontro e lo tengo davvero nel cuore e con il sorriso. Grazie, grazie, grazie.
David.
Can you hear me? Dear Tai, dear Sangha, dear brother, thank you so much for your words. To be honest with you, I feel a little bit uncomfortable because sometimes I see that the practice doesn't help me in these situations. I'm trying to get the best I can from the practice, but it's not easy. And when I look the past, what happened only 70 years ago, all our love for the people that died in that war, and was not possible to do anything. This is bringing to my mind a similar situation when you are sick, when you have a disease.
David, puoi tradurre anche in italiano, per favore? Grazie.
Ok, riparto dall'inizio? No, non c'è bisogno.
Sì, quello che hai detto dall'inizio, grazie.
Volevo dire
O anche
che
puoi parlare in italiano perché poi noi traduciamo per i fratelli qui, quindi puoi parlare direttamente in italiano.
in alcuni momenti non è facile praticare, in quanto la situazione è difficile. Soltanto 70 anni fa noi abbiamo avuto una gravissima guerra e non c'è stato niente, non si è potuto fermarla, non si è potuto rimediare a quello che è successo e milioni di persone sono morte. Quindi io mi impegno profondamente con la pratica e cerco di fare il mio meglio per essere me stesso e dare il massimo di impegno in questo momento, però a volte mi trovo un po' in difficoltà perché la frustrazione più grande è quella di poter fare poco e quindi forse l'unica cosa che possiamo fare, oltre che mandare la nostra compassione più profonda al popolo ucraino e a tutti quelli che soffrono in questo momento, è quello di accettare quello che sta succedendo. Grazie ancora a tutti voi per questo.
So, dear Sangha, thank you very much for being there and listen to me, listen to the Sangha. And we hope that we see you again tomorrow. And tomorrow we have another monastic brothers who will offer us sharing about the practice of compassion and courage. And each of us, we have uniqueness. We have our own way of presenting the practice. And I hope you enjoy also tomorrow. And tonight you can have a good rest, and tomorrow you can enjoy your day. And yeah, so I don't know if we have any announcement. So I would like to greet you, have a good evening and have a good rest. And Centro Avalokita will have an announcement for you.